we are now streaming.
Oh.
Okay.
Can I want a second?
So
We have a 30-second.
Microphone's Amanda.
yeah, we're gonna go through. Okay, so everybody in there, just so you guys know, your new reputation sheets are in your folders. Also, some of your reputations have been slightly adjusted due to the changing from gold to experience points. So,
And all those people we killed.
some of you, no, those are also Narc and blood. So some of you will see that your friendly reputations have actually gone down to agreeable, but that's okay. That just means that you're close enough to friendly. But if you notice that some of your reputations have like an up arrow or a down arrow, that indicates that you are on the cusp of going into the next bracket. So if you have an up arrow, that means that you're really close to going up into the next bracket with that particular group. If you have a down arrow, that means that you're really close to getting worse with that particular group.
What does 3 frowny faces mean?
Do you have 3 frowny faces?
Just with a couple of people, I've got 3 frowny faces.
With a couple people.
Yeah, just a few people. And then I also divided the columns. So all of the established groups are on the left-hand column, and that'll include everybody's mentor groups. So, because it's possible that you guys will all earn reputation with, like, say, Vesper's mentor, if you're running missions for him or with him or around him. And then the other side is blank so that you guys can put in whoever you want. If on your old reputation sheets you had people listed that are not in the left-hand side, I transferred them to the right-hand side and wrote down what you guys wrote down, so those should all still be there. Oh yeah, hi everyone. Hi Twitchverse.
The adventure has begun.
Yes, we've been live for roughly 2 minutes now. Welcome to Arragas City of Dreams. This should be episode 7.
Ooh, there's the ad popping up.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, so we've got that going on, and then I'm just doing a little bit of maintenance with everyone's reputations around the city, because those reputations are likely to change after tonight. And then the other thing that I will say is, because last week was Halloween and we switched that to our off Wednesday, we will be Twitch casting this Wednesday and the next 2 Wednesdays, which means that that's the Wednesday right before Thanksgiving. So hopefully if any of you have to travel or go places on Wednesday to be with your families on Thursday, you'll remember to take us with you and give thanks for D&D, because that's what I do every year. Okay, so to recap, we're just going to do the most important thing. Everybody read a dangerous book with the exception of Kethra, who was the only one who resisted the temptation. Everyone who read the book got powers or got extra abilities. I said in the last session that they were spells. That is not accurate. They are more akin to powers. Things that people just understand how to do. And then Vesper, because he was afraid that Kethra was going to destroy the book before he had a chance to read it, absconded with the book so that he could read it at his leisure and not worry about them taking it away from him as soon as he stopped talking, because he might want to keep reading after that, etc., etc. And so he has run off with the book,
which was a poor choice.
Yeah, he has run off with the book and also spoken with his mentor about it. But I'll let him explain that when we get to it. So everyone is sort of broken off, looking around for Vesper. Macaria has gotten deep into cups, and I don't think she cares much about where Vesper is anymore, because it's dark outside, and when it's dark times, it's Miller time. You know what I'm saying?
Miller ground.
Well, Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Made it better. At least it's not
Michelob Ultra. Yeah. Liliana has been summoned to speak with her mentor Ornthalos. Errister has has vowed that if he does not catch up with Vesper by nightfall, he is going to go get assistance in the way of other paladins to help him find Vesper. Kethra is wrestling with her faith and whether or not she should have done more to keep her friends from reading the book, because she is genuinely worried now that they may be corrupted by handling the tome. Okay, so we'll start with Errister. Errister, it is now nightfall.
Great.
You have been unsuccessful in finding Vesper, and you are marching your way towards the Paladin Hall for the Paladins of Givney, with the intention of gathering some more Paladins together to spread out and fan out and keep this from becoming a serious problem.
Right.
And as you are walking along, you hear a psst. 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 Errister. And you look over and you see what you think is Vesper Preslin. Vesper, is it just the eyes? Yeah. You see what you think is Vesper Preslin, cloaked and trying to be as conspicuous as he possibly can in a dark alley. When you make eye contact with him, he hastily waves you over and then disappears into the shadows.
Super. Okay, so I still have my sword drawn.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been in my hand for a good
walking down
7 hours.
Oh, yeah. No, you've been walking around armed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess I will make my way over there. Is it like kind of well lit, like around generally?
Yes. So as you get closer to the center of the city, where like most of the main Paladin halls and churches and stuff like that are, the security levels go way up, and Millipole is walking around in some places. You can see there are lamps, there are
healthy ambient light.
Yeah, but Vesper has chosen a darkened alley.
I see.
In which to meet you, probably because he's a wanted criminal now, and he knows it.
Scandalous.
Yes.
Scurvy dog.
Sure, I
The scurvy dog. You scurvy dog.
All right, I will head towards this alleyway where I noticed my erstwhile friend.
Okay. As you enter the alleyway, you notice that there's some stuff piled against the walls. It's it's the sort of place that you think that ne'er-do-wells would hang out if they were going to engage in illicit business and or mug someone.
Right.
The person that you think is Vesper is sort of pacing about, 15, 20 feet away from you. He is holding something large in one of his arms. It does look like a large book. And he seems to be waiting for you to join him deeper in the alley.
Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and storm up to him because I'm still pretty pissed.
As well you should be. Right. All right, so Errister storms up to you. His sword is drawn.
I take an apple crate and I put it down on one side, and I take an apple crate for myself. And I invite him to sit for a parley.
For a moment.
Yes.
Where's the book?
I sit on my apple crate. Oh, it's right here. Oh, here you are. I mean to ask you.
Have you sat down?
No.
That's fine. You can stand.
Yeah, these apple crates are
whatever is more comfortable.
Yeah.
I understand armor's heavy.
I have a singular question.
I have a lot of questions.
Excellent. I'll go first.
All right.
Why should I not turn you over to the city guard and or gut you like a fish?
Let me tell you what the last thing I remember is, and then we can go with what happened. I remember we were reading the book, and when it got to my turn, I looked at it, and then the next recollection I have is I was in front of my mentor out of breath. And I'm not quite sure what happened, but he told me I was probably in trouble.
So I'm supposed to believe that you were somehow cursed into leaving by this book.
I don't know.
Roll empathy.
Okay. While he's rolling empathy, could you roll a dice 6 for me and tell me what you get?
It's not called
Insight.
empathy anymore. It's called insight. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen.
and then could you roll it again?
Oh my god.
4.
Okay.
You know
All right.
that.
By the way, you also know how to do these things now. You have to expend spell slots to use them, but they do not count against any of your knowledge totals. So those spells do not change the total amount of spells you're allowed to know.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that sounds somewhat likely of an explanation.
You do know that the book changed. Like you remember also like sort of a time jump, right? Like you thought you were talking while you were reading the book, and then all of a sudden the book was out of your hands, and everyone was staring at you like, "What happened? What did you learn?" So it's possible that the book exerted some sort of control over.
That's definitely my line of reasoning currently, given my absolutely horrendous insight roll of 6, in case anybody wanted to.
No, I
Yeah.
thought it was a 3.
So-
I have bonuses. I'm not totally
It's just like a
handicapped.
3.
Aside from what happened, how should we unmuddy this?
Are you going to tell him what your mentor told you about the book? Because you.
Yes, even though he essentially just said that chaos is evil, the book's illegal, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then
As
I
expected.
started making my way out of the place at that moment. Not many
I'm just gonna take
details.
this.
Are you going to apprise Errister about the differences in penalties based on religion?
We did not get to that.
Yes. Remember when I told you that the churches of Era, Solion, and Grimnir, the penalties.
Okay. Well, there's a death penalty. I'm sure you're more aware of these things than I, being from an actual order,
Indeed.
rather than a godless heathen. such
You've
as
never
this.
heard of this book, so you don't know. I mean, there's nobody in your paladin group circles has said, "Oh, by the way, if you ever come across this book, here's what the legal ramifications are."
Right, but I figure it's going to be something bad. So I begin making a fire
Okay.
here in the alleyway.
Okay. It would not be difficult. There are a couple of flimsy apple crates right in front of you.
Oh, damn it! My apple crate.
Well, there's
Apple crate.
there's some canvas scrappings and.
Well, there's a lot of stuff around, but he specifically pulls out the apple crate.
Well, it is highly possible that this book has exerted some sort of control over you. I assume because you are some type of spellcaster. I'm not quite sure how all that works.
It's
but
possible. I remember when we got back into Arragas thinking that I was going to go talk to my mentor. So I'm not sure if it was just like a compulsion. Like
the question is what did you do during the lost time?
that is a good question. Thus, why we are meeting in Apple Crate Lane.
One that mayhap merits further investigation. For you may have done some things that will one day come back to haunt you. As this book's existence currently haunts me.
All right. Yeah, that's why I wanted to see you specifically, since you are a former Millipole
Knight Captain, you can go ahead and
Knight
say it.
Captain. I was a general once, so I don't know.
Funny, my father was a general. Did you happen to know each other?
It was a far off land.
Actually, he still is a general.
Yeah.
That being neither here nor there, I set fire to this thing.
Okay, so you build a decent fire, not one that's going to draw obviously fire brigade attention, but you set a fire pit sized fire in the middle of the alley.
Healthy blaze.
You throw the book atop it.
Indeed.
There's some crackling, some sizzling. Nothing really happens to the book. Other than the damage from when Kethra hit it with Sacred Flame, the book seems to be resisting catching on fire.
I play a little tune, a little.
Are you trying to inspire the fire? Okay. No, it's like a womp womp.
I'm going to smite the book
Okay.
with my sword.
Okay. So your sword begins to glow. You heave it overhead. You strike down. Please roll some damage.
Interesting.
Is
This thing considered fiendish and or undeadish?
Just tell me what damage that you roll for smite.
Okay.
Or that's the holy damage. Or
I'd like to
divine
stand
damage.
back.
10 so far, but if I get an extra die for it being...
You get an extra die if you are smiting it.
So, that's 18 damage.
Okay,
Is
so
that all
10 points.
Smite?
Yeah.
Okay, not the weapon damage.
That's not... No weapon damage.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Okay,
That's
so
3 to 8.
yeah.
Smite.
So when you basically when your sword touches the book, like when you swing your sword into the book, like you cleave it into it very deep. I mean, like a bunch of the paper flies out and the book cover splits in half, and you can actually see like parts of the paper sizzling a little bit and like sort of breaking away. Probably another one of those will destroy the book entirely. But again, the fire you set is not doing any additional damage to the book.
Okay. I scrape it out of the fire.
Okay.
How messed up does it look?
It's pretty haggard at this point. It's really in two main parts, and then there's a few loose pages. You can gather up the loose pages because they're not burning or anything, and some of them are still readable.
Great.
But it would be easy enough for you to gather the bits back together. You could wrap it in something. If you got back to Kethra, between you and her, you guys could probably destroy the book.
I'm going to smite it again.
Okay.
I've got some extras.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
I'd like to use my arcane knowledge as this making slashes against the book to see if there's anything
12 damage.
arcana derived, maybe materials.
Well, you're fairly certain now that what your mentor told you about chaos being evil or whatever is true, because you're watching. So normally when people hack into a book with a sword, it sort of rips apart and cuts apart. If the sword is really sharp, you can actually cut a few of the pages out and things like that. But you have to hack at it, right? Like it's not, sword's not made for cutting a book. When he cuts the book with the sword all aglow, the book is opening apart, like it's almost like it's coming apart, like on its own. Yeah, like it's breaking into bits, and pages are flying out, and like every time he hacks it, it's.
Is there a slow scream coming out of it?
That's
No,
what I wanted
there's
to
no.
know.
Yeah, no. There's no.
Ghosts start
So-
coming out. That's what I was.
So the interesting thing about this is you remember, like with your Arcana roll, you remember that this book did not radiate as being magical.
Okay.
However, it's resisting regular damage. Like it's so there's just clearly something with it. But you saw like Kethra's Sacred Flame, which was hurting the beast or whatever. It burned instantly. I mean, it crisped several pages and the whole cover with just one of those Sacred Flames, and now he's hacking it to bits with a glowing sword.
Okay.
Okay. So the issue is now you've got it broken. You've got it cut into several pieces, and there's lots of pages gone that have that crisped away and just turned into ash. But the remaining pages are all still there. I mean, if you
Vacuum it up.
yeah, I mean, like imagine.
I don't think they have that. I think I have my
Which
head
means
I'm going to scoop it up into a pile.
Okay.
Put it in my bag.
Okay.
I make vacuuming sounds.
Yeah.
Minor illusion.
I'm going to look at my bag and say, "Why won't you burn?"
Yeah. What's wrong with you? Stupid bag. Okay, so
This is stronger than I thought it was going to be.
It does appear to be somewhat immune to things like damage. So,
Back to the guild.
yes, indeed.
All right.
Okay, all right. So you guys head back to Sable Guard. Okay, so Makaria is drinking. I think we ended last session with you going back in because it was dark. You were just like, well, might as well close the place. Not gonna find Vesper in all this darkness. Okay, Kethra, you have been contemplating and praying and meditating, and also you spoke with Abbot Eugene about a few things. I don't think you revealed anything too telling to him about what went on during your adventure and or the book itself. You were just worried, about your friends, and I think he told you that if you listen to your heart and listen to what Era tells you, that you'll know the right path to take. So it is now dark. What do you want to do? Do you just want to stay the night at the church? There's places for people to sleep, priests especially. Like if you don't have another place, there's always
Right. Well,
bunks.
I believe somewhere in here it's like, because when I have a room at the temple anyways.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, you have a place where you can sleep at the temple.
Yeah.
And in addition to going back to your dad's house, if that's where you feel more safe. And of course, you can always sleep at Sable Guard. They've got those sort of pallet things along the one wall that everyone's allowed to just cuddle up like a big pack of bears.
Do we? I thought our...
Thing got burned, didn't it?
Yeah, the one wall
Think it
got
burned
burned, but it didn't burn up all the beds. I mean,
You might get rained on.
yeah, there's
But the beds are still
yeah.
I'm more likely to sleep on the
Yeah, I just want to point out
So-
there, I definitely, because we didn't roleplay that out, I would not have told Eugene anything about the book. I would not have mentioned the book.
Yeah, I figured.
But-
I know.
I would have talked about chaos and chaos infection and what do we do and how do you handle it, or like blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not mention the book.
Blah, blah, blah is a great
Blah, blah,
title.
blah, blah, blah.
Blah blah blah.
I would probably go sleep the night at my dad's house just to say hi. How you doing? Catch
Okay.
up, and then go to bed.
All right. So when you get there, he's already closed up the forge and everything's cooled down, and he's cleaning up last little bits of the day's business and sort of keeping his workstation in order. The house is above the forge. He is happy to see you. He smiles, asks you how you're. He says, "Oh, Kethra, my loving daughter, how is your guild treating you?"
It's great.
My daughter,
It's great,
whom
Dad.
I haven't seen in a week now. That's terrible.
Well, we went to Watonga Mining Company again, and we were only going to go for a day, but then Dad, I, and my group of friends fought off a bunch of chaos monsters. We took them down ourselves. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty epic. And now we're back, and it was really great adventure, and I did some really cool things.
Okay. Well, thank you for the story. You've never really lied to me before, but I guess if you don't want to tell me what has been going on with you in the last week, that's fine.
No, that's really what we
You're-
did, Dad.
Okay. Yeah. Chaos monsters. You and your friends fought them off.
We
and
did. It was a
Right,
big
sure.
dog wolf thing.
I-
It had horns.
I believe you. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Those dog wolf things.
Yeah.
With horns are the worst.
Dad, this is real. I'm not making this up.
There's some ham in the larder. If you want to make yourself something to eat,
Oh my
your room is
gosh.
exactly the way you left it.
Thank you,
I
Dad.
will come up a little later to pray with you and catch up. I just have a little bit of cleaning left to do and get this soot off of my hands. I love you.
Hey, Dad, too. I have a question. I have
I'm
this.
listening, Kethra, with both of my ears.
Both of them. What?
All those.
I have
With
I
all
have
the
this.
ears.
I have this buddy.
I already know Dorga.
No, I have more than one friend. Dad.
You have more than one friend? You
I
never
have
tell me anything.
More than I just told you. I went on an adventure with like 4 friends.
Okay, coworkers are not friends.
They can be friends too.
Okay. So can I ask you, is this buddy of yours one of your coworkers also?
No.
Okay, thank goodness.
He is kind of a simpleton, but he's trying to do a lot of battling and fighting and stuff. Is there any way you could make him some armor, like maybe at a discount as like a favor? I mean, he's really sweet. And I really think it's important that he's just not killed immediately, because that would be bad. Just like a little bit of a discount, Dad. I mean, you do really good work, and I know he's safe, and he wouldn't just die instantly, which is what I'm really worried is going to happen.
You know what? For you, anything. I guess have him come by the shop tomorrow, and I'll see. Can you tell me what sort of a man he is? Is he, or is he kind of?
What does that mean?
Like he uses books and wands. And,
No, he
or
doesn't. Right. No, I think he wants to use like a sword. Yeah.
Okay, so he's.
I mean, no, he's not really. He's kind of like skinny and weak, but
okay,
he would
so
like
he's
to
more
be.
like a,
Yeah,
okay.
more like a.
All right.
Maybe.
So, I mean, this is all going to help me because
Right.
I'm not going to put the guy in plate.
You don't put him in
if
plate.
he's,
That's a really bad idea.
If he can't stay on his feet, kind of a thing. And
I would not put him in plate. Like just
Mm.
something real basic. I just don't want him to die instantly. Right? Because right now he's got like peasant clothing.
what made him choose the life of a soldier? Is he joining up with Millipole or what's the?
No, he's joining the church order.
Oh.
But don't let that sway your opinion in a negative way. I feel like. But he might not. He might join the paladin people or a different one.
Yeah, that's much better. Yeah. So I've lost my wife to the Church of Ara. I've lost my daughter to the Church of Ara.
You did not
And now
lose
you're
me.
asking me to make some armor for some other poor sap so that he doesn't die instantly when he joins the Church of Ara.
He's not necessarily joining the Church of Ara. Like I said, it could be one of the paladin ones. And you have not lost your daughter, Dad.
I know you're doing dangerous things, and I know you're lying to me about the dangerous things that you're doing.
I'm not lying.
I don't want to get into it tonight. Have your friend stop by tomorrow. I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, Dad. Love you.
I love you too. Ham in the larder.
Okay.
Bye. I'll be up in a minute.
I go get some ham.
It's good.
I stomp.
Get your ham out of the larder. Don't put your ham back in the larder. Yeah. Okay. Liliana, you are following the snowy white owl.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still a wolf with a uniquely colored right paw?
No, I am not. I believe because I searched for like 3 hours, one of those as a wolf and the other 2 as me.
Oh, okay.
And then when I saw the owl, I would have turned into a horse.
Okay.
Because I can go much faster. So that
In the city or once you get out of the city?
I would probably wait till I got out of the city.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, wait till I'm out of sight. And then I turn into a horse and book it.
Because you've already gotten some strange looks as a wolf running through the city without any sort of collar or anybody, and some screams and people holding their kids and
Okay.
yeah, whatever.
People do that.
Scared
It's
of wolves.
They seem to do that every time you turn into a wolf.
Yeah.
Weird.
But a horse. Now a horse, that's worth money. So if you're running through as a horse and you're not tethered or you don't have a harness or anything on, then lots of people are going to try to catch you because they could sell you or use you or eat you or whatever.
We'll ride you into combat.
Ride you into combat.
Kicked in the balls.
One day.
They tried.
No. Okay.
I'd wait till I was out of the city limits, like out of the gate and out of sight.
Okay. All right. So you travel outside of the city. Once you get clear of the walls, you turn into a horse.
Mm-hmm.
and you gallop off, following the snowy white owl as it flies towards the south end of the woods. And so, just so that everybody at home knows, we are talking about the north end of the city, and north of the city is my.
Where's your map?
Somebody didn't bring his map along. North of the city, there's a large expanse of woods that basically separates the mountains from the lowlands. She's headed towards Twist Root, which is the sort of the deciduous and flowery and evergreen, like very green and lush sort of forest. That's to the west of the Arundel River.
I kind of have a map.
Good. That's an excellent map. That's a little bit better than my map, except the river's in the wrong
Show
spot.
everybody.
But
Oh yeah.
Show everyone.
Oh, no,
river's in there.
it's pretty terrible.
Get it on
let's see.
display.
Let's see if we can.
Some
I can
award-winning
attend.
map cartography.
It's wrong, isn't
I
it?
don't really have a.
Oh, yours is
Yeah,
better.
my map cam is here. Can everybody see that? There you go. See how close it is. Okay, that's terrible. I'll have a better map next time. All right. So anyway, you travel for an hour and a half, a little less time.
Well, it'll be an hour because I can only change for an hour, I think.
Well, but
Oh,
it
wait,
takes
no,
you an hour
I
and a
can-
half to get to Ornitholos's.
I can change for 2.
hut.
Right.
I can change for 2. Well, I was saying I go way faster as a horse, so
Right. Twice as fast as a human, as a matter of fact. Right.
I think a little more than that if I'm booking
Well,
it.
you move 6, you run 12, and I think a horse's movement is 12, which would mean they run 24. So,
I mean, I could look it up, but sure.
you know what? Let's
I
just
get
say that because of your druid glowing silver eyes and your weird Liliana face on a horse, everyone just gets out of your way, and it shaves like a good 6 minutes off the total run.
I have like one blue lock that comes down over my horse face with my silver eyes.
You're like a
Horse
My
face.
Little
She said it.
Pony.
I didn't say it. She said horse face. Okay.
I'm a
Twilight
horse.
Sparkle.
No, yeah, I get it. No, yeah, I get it. Yeah. Anybody seen a little horse face girl running around here? Okay. Okay, so blue lock. You make it to the woods.
It's like almost blue because I'm a black horse. So.
So is it like that old lady dye job blue?
Yeah.
It's like nearly black, but when you see it under fluorescent lighting, it's clearly blue.
Yeah.
It's like really dark blue. Okay. All right. So you get out to the woods. The moon has risen. The stars are out. All the animals are, all the nocturnal animals are buzzing and chirping and croaking at you. And you get to a small glade. The snowy white owl lands on the branch of a tree, and Ornitholos is resting. He's sort of seated against the trunk of that tree, and when he sees you, he gets up and greets you with the standard druid bow. Everyone bows. All the druids bow to each other, and he says, "Liliana, it is excellent to see you. Thank you for coming. I have been neglecting your studies, and I apologize. We should get started right away."
I kind of halfway bow, and then I sort of stumble forward, and I give him a hug, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy to see you. I've had such a crappy week, and my friends, they're all mad at each other, and I don't know what to do. I think I did something bad."
He animal shifts into an octopus and hugs you back.
Oh, squishy like this.
Then he
Like
changes
a
back
stress
out.
ball.
Yeah.
I needed a squish.
Yeah.
Shh, be careful, I'll ink.
Yeah, watch out for the ink. Yeah, don't step there.
I'm not
That's my ink
squeezing
spot.
his no-no parts.
They have it in their head.
Oh my
Watch out for the ink.
An octopus
god.
head.
Where are the no parts?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Roll animal
I feel like all
handling.
No, we're not rolling animal handling to find the no parts on an octopus. Okay?
No.
No.
Please, Chad, explain to us.
Not this episode.
Not this episode. Yeah, we need to wait a little more character development. Okay, so he changes back into his kindly aged elf form, and he says that to be calm. There are many paths to every destination, and you may have just slipped onto a different path than you originally started. Why don't you tell me why you think that your friends may be mad at you and why it's your fault?
Okay, well, we went to the mining company and we got hired to like investigate the mines, right? Because people had disappeared. So we did that. We found that there was this big animal that had been ripping people apart. We finally tracked it down. It was a rhino dog that had been corrupted by chaos, and it was evil and horrible, and we didn't know where it came from, but it stunk really bad whenever I was in wolf form. Anywho, so we kill it, and we made sure and disposed of the body and like burned it and made sure it was like sacred and everything. And then we found that in the mining town, they were visited by this lady that was evil. We found a letter, that's how we found her, that said that she had been planning something. Anyways, we tracked them down, and as soon as we figured out who she was, she tries to attack us. We killed her. On her, we found this book that was evil, and I didn't want to mess with it while we were there because I was worried that it would be too dangerous, so we waited until we got back. Anyways, so we get back, and we get back, and I just went to like see, because when she was dying, she said that it was too late, that she had already finished her plan, and that we would find out and stuff. It was all ominous and scary. So I was like, okay, well, this is her book. Maybe I should look through it and see if I can figure out what it is that she did back in town. So I started to read it, and then I guess I blanked out whenever I was reading it, and then I knew something that I didn't know before, and I know this spell with bugs now. But yeah, they all got really freaked out, and then my friend Catherine, she's so sweet, but she's from the Church of Era, and everybody's totally entitled to their belief systems, and I really appreciate her as a friend. Well, she said we should stop and we should burn the book, and it was scary, and I was thinking, well, I'm never going to use this evil stuff that I just read. It's really ridiculous. Everybody else seemed like they wanted to like help and go through, and I thought we were all thinking that we were going to go through and we were going to see like about the enemy, like what they had done so that we could figure them out. But no, like I was talking to Errister, and he said that he had like personal reasons that he wanted to do, like personal like things that he wanted to accomplish that he thought maybe he could get power from. And I was like, no, that's the wrong reason. And that's when I realized that like I should have been with Kethra and helped her burn the book, because I didn't realize that it was tempting them to do selfish things. Does that make sense?
Yes. He walks over to a tree and pulls an acorn down and crushes it in his hand. He sniffs it up into his nose. Then he comes back and make a perception check.
Can't you use passive perception instead? Can I, please?
After that monologue, I'm not sure.
14.
Okay. So while you were talking, once you said the part about looking in the book to see, like reading the book to see if you could figure out what the other bad lady or the evil lady had done. Mm-hmm. Ornitholos blinked, and his eyes were like totally white orbs for a split second, and then he blinked again. But you didn't think anything of that because you were in the middle of the discussion, so you didn't say anything.
He does that sometimes.
When he comes back to you, he asks you. He says, so each of you took turns reading the book?
Yeah, not all of us, but I
Who
did.
did not read the book?
Catherine didn't. But I don't know what's going on. I think Vesper said he wanted to burn it right then, And I was starting to think that was a really good idea, and then he ran off with it, and now Errister's looking for him. I'm pretty sure he's going to find him. It's going to be okay, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And I don't want to have this, like, knowledge anymore. I learned this thing that I know because what I read, that if I use it, it, like, opens up the doors to the Chaos Realm, and I don't want that.
Okay, he tells you to be calm. Calm down.
I'm trying.
Show me your mother's pendant right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he blinks again, and this time his eyes are white, and he stares at you and stares at the pendant, and you can tell that he is basically scanning your person. And he whispers something almost to himself. You don't really catch it, but then when he blinks again, he has his regular, gold and blue eyes. And he says, your friend Kethra is very wise, and you should do what she does the next time you find any evil books.
Okay. I think
Destroying the book is probably the best thing to do. However, our timeline has shifted, and now more than ever we must speed up your training. So let us put this topic aside and get to it.
Okay.
And then he begins showing you druid things and teaching you how to tell what time it is at night just by sniffing a leaf and stuff like that. Yeah.
The medicinal powers of snorting makes
I still don't know the
No, but he needed to do that as a stress reliever. that was his own.
Don't we all?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, by the way, did
that'll
you
show up
need
later.
something? You did call me.
Yes, I called you here to continue your studies, and now I see that
Cool.
we will probably need to speed up the process a bit. But enough of that.
I'll be a real good student now. I just really needed a vent. I was real worried. I'm sorry.
Oh, also at the point when you when you said that Vesper ran off with the book, he transformed into a bear and roared at the sky and then transformed back into lost. He was just like, keep going. No, you noticed that one. That passive perception. You noticed that. You were like, okay. Anyway, so Vesper ran off with the book. And then
I probably would have been like, that's exactly how I felt.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's how most people felt. Okay.
Remind me not to have
Vesper.
extended conversations with druids.
Yeah. So anyway, he begins to show you things. He at the end of your guys's sort of session, he reminds you about your mother's pendant, and he tells you that you have entered the time now where keeping that pendant on your person is of high importance.
I never take it off.
That is the correct answer.
Oh, we found some moonstones too, and we've been kind of using them to tell if there's chaos around, if they darken, I don't know how we strengthen this one though.
Well, your mother was very powerful, and there are enchantments on that medallion that you will need in the coming days.
That's what I thought. 'Cause,
Moonstone is an excellent indicator that chaos is near. It will darken almost immediately depending on the power of the chaos. And should your medallion ever darken, you would do well to get yourself and anyone you care about away from whatever it is that is darkening your medallion. If you have Moonstone, I would recommend that you hand it out to your friends, and also stay away from chaos.
We're trying to.
It's not a disease, Liliana. It's not a curse. It's not a poison. It's not something that you can get rid of easily. And once it is inside you, it grows.
I was gonna ask if there was any way for you to like take away the memory of that book. I really don't want to know how to do the bug spell. That it sort of like, or the bug power.
La 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 la. I don't know about the bug spell either. La la la. He says, let's see, what does he say to that?
It gave me some sort of control over some bugs. And, and I don't even want to practice that because I feel like that would be using the power of chaos to let it in.
Do not use that power.
Okay. I don't want to.
Using the power will strengthen the hold of chaos on your mind if it has not already begun.
No,
I do not have the power to erase memories, but there is one who can. I will discuss with him and see what can be done.
Okay. Summon me if there's something else. Somebody else that can take that away, or we can figure out how to do it with the life force that's here in nature, instead of this unnatural way. I mean, I'm sure we could train to do this the right way, but I don't like the way that's in my head.
As of right now, do not speak of this to any other druids. The other branches are much more militant about this sort of thing, and if they even remotely suspect that you have chaos in you, they will remove you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I don't mean that they will kill you. I mean that they will trap you away someplace to wither for 1,000 years while they figure out how to keep your life essence from rejoining the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
Ooh. Can't stress enough that you should not talk about this with others.
Oh,
Just trust in me, and I will find a way.
Okay, thank you. I don't know what you're talking
Also,
about.
I'm kind of sorry I hugged you as an octopus earlier. It's probably really dangerous.
I really needed I needed that. You're super
should've-
squishy.
I should have just used my regular arms, but okay.
It's okay.
All right. So at the end of the night, you know some more stuff about being a druid. He's taught you some secret enchantments, and he taught you what certain sigils and runes mean if you see them carved in wood versus carved in stone. And bada bing, bada bang, you're level 3. Okay. All right. So we get. Are you sleeping out in the woods tonight, or are you headed back to town?
I'll probably head back to town whenever we're done
Okay.
because I don't want to like impose.
Okay.
But I'll probably sleep wherever I land, like when I get tired.
Okay. So, Errister, Vesper, you guys make it back to Sable Guard. Vance is there along with Elizrin Fisk. She's, she doesn't look, she looks different every time you guys see her, really. She's a young woman, but sometimes she looks really lithe, and sometimes she looks a little heavyset, and sometimes she's, cloaked like she's been working at the docks all day, and other times she's sort of, dressed in merchant clothing, and she's just kind of a weird, person. But she doesn't like talking to either of you. She doesn't really talk to anybody except for Vance and sometimes Kurga. And when you guys get there, she, takes her leave. Vance welcomes you guys back. As you can see, there's plenty of space to sleep if you guys are looking for a place to crash. He's just finishing up some things. He's going to lock up the lockbox, and then he's headed home.
I'd like to have a side conversation with Errister.
Okay.
I think tonight I will pay for... We should not sleep around here. I will pay for us a room, and we can lock it in case there's any more...
Shenanigans.
Right, in case we try to run out or whatever should happen.
Did you hear that? In case we try to run out, right?
Oh, it did not go unnoticed.
Who knows?
Rest assured,
Everything is on the table.
the remnants of the book shall remain safe with me.
That's fine. I don't care where you put it.
Excellent.
I'm kind of eerie about sleeping in the same room as it or whatever.
We can sleep in shifts.
Yeah, that way that the one awake can just run away while the other one's sleeping. Sounds great. You guys are so smart.
I'll set a trap.
As long as it's a nice room.
Okay. All right. So where are you going?
I think we're gonna talk to Kethra.
No,
About
Catherine went home.
Oh,
Where are you
I
guys
went to
going
my
to see?
dad's.
Oh.
I mean, you could go to the temple.
Yeah,
but
you said
not
you were
there.
gonna.
Where's
pay
the nicest inn in this neighborhood?
Well, the nicest inn in the neighborhood is Dragon's Teardrop.
Oh shit.
We are disagreeable with those people last time I checked.
Well, if we give them business, maybe.
We're good.
Maybe we'll have something.
We're disagreeable. Yep, double checked.
I generally don't bring friends that break mugs, so maybe that counts for
I don't
something.
believe I did anything bad there. I think I
No
was
one
there.
did. No one did anything bad.
Just Dorga.
Okay, so you guys head over to the Dragon's Teardrop?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take our 10-minute break right now, and we'll continue afterwards. We'll pick up where we left off with Errister and Vesper headed to the Dragon's Teardrop. So now is our standard 10-minute break. Everyone get up, refresh your drinks, stretch your legs, urinate if you need to. That's none of my business. You don't have to tell anybody that. You don't have to type it out in chat or anything, but
I can.
anyway, thanks everybody for showing up and watching the show. I hope you guys. Does anybody have any questions so far about what they've
I'm going to urinate. 'Cause I need
what I've
to.
said, what they've done?
Julie, you need to go back
Get
and
to know
watch
your
Sean's face the whole time.
Players.
Oh my
and
God.
That's why we were
game
dying.
masters.
Yeah,
we
it
were
was pretty
dying.
good.
Vesper, before you leave, do you need your spell cards?
What's that?
What do you need your spell card? Do you need your spell cards for something?
These were the only two that I got. The chaos ones.
No, they're all right there, bro.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
I guess maybe I didn't put them.
I think when you
in the
did
right
the
spot.
sheet,
Yeah.
you
I set
lifted
them up
them
right.
up.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right. All right, cool.
That's probably right. Yep. Okay.
General gaming time.
Bellizery, the book is a mimic. What gives you that impression? The book didn't say anything or do anything. It certainly didn't try to defend itself against the smiting longsword, which did lots of damage to it.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that we didn't manage to burn that one out.
Well,
I should have
think of it
cast
like-
in my hands. I should have cast Divine Favor, because then I could have walloped it for
extra damage.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so to describe probably a little better what happened to the book. So in all those movies where there's an ancient tome, and if everyone brings all the pages back together, then the tome will.
Yeah, Necronomicon stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So at this point, that book is ready to start a prophecy similar to it. It's in pieces.
Right.
Pages have been torn out. Some of the pages are missing entirely. You did
No
manage to
bueno.
wreck some of the pages entirely.
Right.
But there's still, like, if somebody were to try to reconstitute the book and they had all the pieces you currently have, they could do it.
Ancient wizards can fix it, basically.
Right. But if you take it to Kethra, you've seen Kethra and Liliana burn away the chaos-ridden rhino dogs, so you know they can do it.
We're
with
going to
it.
wreck this thing however we can.
Yeah, you know you can do it with the book.
The holy power.
Hey Dusty 2.0, good to see you. Hey Duchess, always good to have you in the chat. I thought for sure you would go crazy with those tentacle emotes once Ornitholos turned into an octopus. I was trying to decide what sort of animal would give the best hugs.
Sacks.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
So, Legend of the Five Rings came out with a new edition.
It did.
Did.
What are we going to do about that?
I don't know. Probably buy it and then have 6 core books.
We should play it.
Oh, man.
We should play it. For those of you at home, Ben is easily in the top 2 DMs that I know. And his... I would say his wheelhouse is World of Darkness, but the next most fun that I had was imagining Legend of the Five Rings, because I have no doubt in my mind that Ben would be able to nail that sort of tragic samurai genre. Like, and I've been trying to get him to run an L5R.
I am a huge
forever.
fan of said system, so.
How many DMs do I know? Blizzarding? Well,
Ooh, that's almost an insult against men.
So
Just me and him.
if I were to,
Are we talking about good ones, or just
that's
people
what I think.
who do it occasionally?
Yeah, see, so if we're talking about people who have DM'd, they tried their hand in it, or they had to step in for a couple of sessions because the regular DM was sick, or having a baby or whatever. I probably know 50 or 60 DMs. And that's also counting all the people who've shown up to my seminars and the people that I've seen in other game stores, running their own games. This is going to sound kind of creepy, but sometimes I go to game stores and I watch other games being played because I want to gauge what sort of games are popular and whether or not the DM is any good, and whether or not I can try to market my skills to that DM or those players. Now, if I'm talking about a dedicated DM, like someone who runs, say a weekly game, I probably only know about 12, probably about a dozen people who consistently run a game. I would say that. Let me put it a different way. So I have played in a lot of games with other DMs, and I've had fun in almost all of them. Ben is the only DM that I crave. To put it bluntly, I always look forward to going to one of Ben's games. It doesn't matter what we're playing. If his game is on a Friday night, I always look forward to going to my Friday night game because Ben is a very
Despite how
good,
sloppy things get sometimes.
Yeah. Ben is a very good DM. I don't know if you were around a couple weeks ago when we were talking in the chat about whether or not Ben was going to start his own Twitch show where he was running a game, and I said I hope so. I meant that. I genuinely think that Ben is an excellent DM, and that his stories are great. His NPCs are classic. I mean, he's got one NPC that I will never forget. I may lose all my other memories to Alzheimer's. I will never forget a particular NPC whom my characters generally come to hate, but as a player and a DM, I love.
No one has yet to kill him in a game.
Because we don't want to. Nobody really wants to kill him.
Somebody is going to kill him one day.
I don't know. I think, you know what I mean? That's that'd be like somebody other than Luke killing Darth Vader. It would just ruin a few things. But yeah, I've got a couple really good friends who DM, Brian and Charles. I've got another friend, Tom, who DMs, and I had one friend who DMs off and on, but he doesn't. He's very spotty because of his life schedule. His name is AJ, but yeah, I always have fun with Brian and Charles and Tom. But I look forward to Ben's games all the time. Even in a game, if last week
there's some romance action.
There might be a little bromance going on. Yeah,
we've gone around in circles as to whether one of us is going to kill the other one in games
so
before.
they're spread out.
Yeah.
Things get intense,
There's
some staring involved.
No money.
Yeah,
That leads to a lot of heavy
You
emotions.
can do it anytime. You can't do it.
So
I will say,
That's crazy.
that
It's
the
stressful a couple weeks.
worst fight that Ben and I have ever had was about a rule was about a rule in Dungeons and Dragons. So
I thought it was
the
a
fact
trap.
that our worst
That
fight was over
isn't my
something
worst
so
fight
nerdy,
about
like
it's like
it
I-
just tells
that
you
was
everything
my
you need to
worst
know about.
fight.
Our
I have
friendship.
never. I will say I've never killed one of Sean's NPCs or one of Sean's PCs outright. I have blinded one.
Yeah. So he's made all of them wish they were dead. At one point.
I have. One of them fell down an elevator shaft and broke
Oh,
both
that
his
was
legs.
so funny. Oh my god.
Um,
That was my fault though.
there was a steering wheel.
Was that Sean?
Yeah, but
Did
that
I burn
but
your face with a steering wheel?
you burned both my character and Heath's character with a flaming steering wheel.
That's right. Okay, so I burned
So-
his face with the steering wheel.
To prove a point.
It was a point that needed to be proved.
Yeah.
And then what was the big one? Oh, I created a shadow clone.
This is the best.
That was the best one.
I created a shadow clone of your character who ran around and ended up teleporting from place to place
Oh
and
man,
destroying his life.
that was the best one. That was like during the game, I hated it because it was so frustrating. But we still talk about that little NPC.
Although, let's be fair, Charles made that character.
I know, and that's what I was talking
It was
about last
through
week.
sheer-
Like the revenge on Charles. Yeah, Charles is responsible for evil Batman, and he knows what he did. I hope he's watching right now. I hope there's a terror creeping up the back of his neck about someday.
One day.
I will create an evil version of one of his characters, and we'll see what's what.
Never give complete and total autonomy of your character to someone else unless
Yeah.
you absolutely trust them.
Yeah,
I think Steven learned
unless
that
it's
too.
the
This one's
DM.
getting-
Unless it's the DM. You know?
No.
Yeah.
Or unless it's the
No.
We
Yeah.
sign a
Yeah.
waiver for that.
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever actually killed any of Ben's PCs.
I don't think so either. I don't.
I
did
think
the
the
trap.
closest we came
We
was
did
the
the trap.
space scientist
Okay,
because
okay.
he got
Yeah.
all shot up, but you guys got out of there in time to.
Oh,
Let's see.
did I put you in the clone goo?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that was a bad one too.
Yes, that was a
Yeah.
particularly dastardly
I
trap.
did. I admittedly made another character choose to kill your character.
Yeah, which is why he and I got in a
So-
huge fight because I was that character.
But you didn't have to.
Yeah,
I felt like I
it was
had
an
to.
you didn't have to.
I felt like I had to.
Everybody in that campaign felt like Amanda's character was making the right choice. Just to sort of set the playing field evenly. We all thought she was killing the correct. We thought she was killing the doppelganger, and it wasn't. It was, it was me, and I was just like, "No, it's really me." And we're like, "That's what a doppelganger would say."
Coup de grace.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a hard session. It was a fun way to go out though, because I got to play both. Okay, so it's 9:02. Our secondary alarm has gone off, so we'll get back to it. Okay, so Macaria. I'm sorry. Okay, so Vesper and Errister, are you guys headed to the Dragon's Teardrop?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
To secure the book somewhere for the night.
Okay, when you get there, you are greeted. Granny immediately begins cursing you both and telling you to get out. Nigel gives you this kind of a, nothing I can do about this. You guys, sorry. You guys are on the...
Madam.
What do you want? You miscreant!
I am not sure what I have personally done to offend you.
Every time you guys show up, something in here gets broken.
Have I broken anything?
You bring your friends and troubles into this place.
None of my troublesome friends are currently here or in my company.
No, just wait. Just give it a minute. I'm sure something in here is going to get smashed or burned or shot or broken or crushed.
Could I maybe
I don't
persuade
even know.
you with Mr. Griffin? And I slide a little gold piece her way. As a deposit for our stay.
We're in,
She picks it up. She's like, this barely starts to cover the damages from last time. And puts it in her apron.
which we did not incur.
I covered those things. I'm not right.
You came in. Your little girlfriend, your little hussy or whatever, came in after you.
Excuse me, sir.
You
Ma'am.
You turned her invisible and walked her out of here and let those other men tear up our kitchen.
That is on them. Good.
Really? Because they said they were looking for the girl, and you guys used that moment to get out.
I do not have the ability to turn people. What did you say? Invisible? That sounds.
Oh, now I'm supposed to believe you're a moron. Well, that's not that
I am truly.
I've always kind of thought you were a moron.
A paladin of the Holy Church.
Listen,
Evening.
all of our rooms are full, and we're totally out of all sorts of drinks and food. So, although we are not closed,
sense that you are attempting to lie to a paladin of holy order. Is this correct?
I'd like
You'll
to
never
say-
know. This is my place of business. We've owned the Dragon's Teardrop for 6 generations, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let some uppity little paladin come in here and tell me my business.
I assure you, ma'am, I am quite tall.
Oh yeah, she's looking up at you. She's right in your grill.
Well,
And Calliope comes out. That's the wife. She comes out, and she's like, "Everybody out. You are not welcome here."
All right.
I'd
like
believe we've done all we can.
withdraw back to the apple crate lane and
All right.
do some
So you guys head out.
Well, it's
you
around
do
the
remember
corner, right?
You
It's just
do
around the
remember-
corner.
no, Apple Crate Lane was 15 minutes away.
Oh, no, we're just going to the next.
Okay.
They all look the same. This could be it.
Yeah.
For all
Apple
I know.
Crate Boulevard.
But
Right,
you guys do
there we
remember. You guys do remember that Dorga smashed a nice ceramic mug in order to get you kicked out because she wanted to leave because she didn't want to discuss important business in front of everybody. And now that you have heard Granny chewing on you about turning some hussy invisible and escorting her out and letting the place get ransacked by people who are looking for said hussy, it's starting to ring a bell. You guys do remember that actually happening, although one of you was responsible for that, and the other one is just guilty by association.
You know,
So you were there.
I do admit to being at the location.
I may or may have not been present.
Just more ramifications of this chaos. We've got to nip this in the bud.
Well, let's see if we can find Kethra to just burn this thing now, and then maybe sleep wherever she is sleeping.
Okay.
I don't even really sleep. I think I just kind of
Wander the streets and
phase. It's enough
insomnia,
No,
soul-crushing insomnia. I know the feeling. You and I both. It's okay. One day we'll overcome it.
Good talk.
Okay.
To Kethron.
All right. So you guys head over to the Merciful Wind Abbey. You know that's where she prays a lot.
Right.
Okay. The abbots there tell you that Kethra was in fact there that day, but that she has since left. She left slightly before dusk.
Where did she go?
But to her home, or to her job, or to her...
Where is her home?
We don't know those things. Why would we know that? She has a room here. She's supposed to be sleeping here. A young priestess like that, just fresh into her studies, she should really be staying here and reading and praying and meditating instead of running off as soon as it's dark out.
Gallivanting, you could say.
Are you saying she's gallivanting?
She's quite an. I know for a fact she is quite an unruly teen, prone to outbursts of rage.
We have long suspected as much.
She did have that thing for that dead guy once.
She would do well to learn discipline.
Me? I'm gonna read the book.
Mayhap
you
some
fake.
Give us
additional,
some odd
You were
pain
slammed
in
your
the back.
door to your
some
dad.
additional
You're
chores
happy.
might be in
I'm
order.
not there.
Mayhap mucking stalls or scrubbing floors.
I believe they call those
When I find out you said
cleaning
this,
pots.
Errister,
I'm sure there's no end
I'm gonna turn
to
you in. I'm gonna
strong
turn you in. I'm
character building
chaos.
Oh, yes,
Right now.
tasks that she could perform.
We have a very robust character building degree program at the Abbey.
She definitely needs to be corralled
Thank you.
into a fine, upstanding member of society.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have chaos in me, bro.
Now, if you'll excuse us, we have meditating to do.
Indeed, we will seek her elsewhere.
The second priest is just is still writing. Still writing.
This is why I am not religious.
The number of times that she has what's an appropriate word to use in this situation? Sassed a holy paladin.
The guy pulls out a different book and opens it up. The big book goes sassing.
I cannot begin to describe.
God, I'm gonna
All right.
show up at your paladin place.
I'm an old man. I don't care what I do.
This guy drinks milk out of carton.
I've taken a vow of chastity. I can't get in that much trouble.
Okay, so they close up, send you on your way. They have no idea where Kethra's home is.
Sorry.
Where's the
that was
next
going to be a
inn?
problem.
Where's the next inn?
Do you guys remember the Copper Kettle? That's the place that you guys hid out after you turned the girl invisible and searched for her for like an hour, and then I think it was you and Kethra, or was it you and Macaria that were hiding in the...
I think it was...
Yeah, and then you guys went in and you had the like hushed discussion in the corner. Yeah, Copper
I had
Kettle.
my mustache on.
Yeah, Copper
Errister
Kettle.
and I were stabbing people.
Yeah, that's right.
Copper Kettle is
Alright.
a few blocks away from where you are now. You guys head to the Copper Kettle.
I put my mustache on just for consistency.
Okay. You go in there. The grizzled old bartender looks up at you.
How are you doing, sir?
Eh,
We need a room for the night. And double.
All that's left's common room. 3 chits each.
I don't think that will work for us.
Might I talk with my friend for a moment?
I don't care what you
You are truly a kind soul.
do. He spits into the cup that he's cleaning. Give it to that extra.
Man, what an interesting fellow. I pull you over the side. I actually have a house we
Oh,
could go to.
why have you let me do this?
I haven't been there in 3 years.
Oh. Is it like, dirty and unruly or something? I mean, is there someone there who does...
I assure you it's
Cleaning?
been vacant since.
Oh, okay. Well, it's better than the common room.
Alright, guess we're going to my house.
Good luck. Oh, did you step away from the bar?
Yeah, we stepped away
Oh,
from the
okay.
bar.
Well, then he doesn't say that. I thought you guys just started talking like right there in front of him, and he's just like,
Guys got a house.
Alright,
Guys got a house.
I guess I start leading you through the streets to
All right.
a
Are you
relative...
sure you want to go back there?
I don't have anywhere else to go. I've seen some shit in the last couple of days. I have reawakened parts of my mind that I didn't know existed.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go back to your house. It's where you left it.
Okay. It's in a relatively nice area.
Yeah. It's. I mean, even after the most of Millipole left, this area of town still stayed pretty high security and Millipole officer area, that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, I would go to my mom's house, but I don't want to bring a cursed grimoire.
That's probably good thinking.
I also have my hood.
This is the only place I know that I know is super secure, and we definitely won't be bothered here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when you go ahead and make a wisdom check.
Super. This is going to be painful. Not so bad. I got... Yes, I do have wisdom saving throws. That's going to be a 15.
Okay. You managed to keep your composure.
Okay.
In the sort of stoic, like, I need to shove everything way down and just not talk about what's going on, and we just need to stay here for a night, and then I can be gone.
I'm not going to go inside. I want to go in, the cellar.
Okay. So, are you both going in the cellar?
No, I'm going in the house.
Okay.
The house is boarded up.
Oh.
You did not
She is the common room.
I assure you, the cellar is maybe dusty, but it is otherwise
And
remained
dank.
clean. It's very, very weatherproof. It is not standard.
rat proof, right?
Conjure some sort of hoover.
I doubt there would
That's
be
what
one.
I'm thinking.
Okay, so you guys.
I guess unseen servants start cleaning up around the place.
Okay, you guys enter the cellar. It's on the side of the house. Entrance on the side of the house. You go down into the cellar. It is clean-ish. I mean, everything down there is organized. It's not just like a, dank sort of.
Well,
like some people do. The Errister has become noticeably sullen. Like he is not. He just wants to bed down and not talk about anything. He doesn't turn on any light. Like he doesn't light a torch or anything. Like he knows his way around his own cellar. You can see pretty well while the cellar doors are open. I mean, just like the moonlight and stuff coming in is enough to illuminate enough. You start having your unseen servant dust or whatever, but that's just kicking up dust. Like you don't have like a kerchief or anything on it, so it's just like kicking up some dust. Errister, I'm sure you secure the book in some way, right?
Yeah.
So that Vesper doesn't go wiggy in the middle of the night and take it from you.
Yeah, there's probably a chest down here. I'm gonna lock it in the chest.
Sure. Okay. All right. So Errister goes over to an old chest, checks his belt pouch, checks his backpack, rechecks his belt pouch, finds the key, unlocks it. You don't get a chance to see what's inside there, but he throws the bag with the book into it, closes it, relocks it, puts the key back away, and attempts to go to sleep.
Okay.
While your unseen servant is busying itself around the cellar, you notice it come to a pile of old linens, right? That have just sort of been piled in one of the corners. Mm-hmm. And so the unseen servant, picks them up and snaps them out and starts folding them, right? And the first two are, old and sort of moth-eaten a little bit, and that kind of thing or whatever. But the next one is nearly fully covered in old dried blood. And after that, pretty much every linen in that corner has some amount of blood on it. And your unseen servant folds them all up, puts them in a stack, stacks them on the shelf. Errister doesn't notice this because he is attempting to sleep, so he's got his eyes closed and he's sort of, reclined. And
I recall unseen servant.
Yeah, okay, all right. So unseen servant winks out of existence, and the linens fall onto the shelving right there, mostly folded, bloody ones and all. There are still a few
I wait
linens.
for him to do the linens, but after that.
No, you'll finish it up because OCD.
Yeah, there's no way I'm leaving that half done.
Yeah, we can't have bloody linens on the shelf and bloody linens on the floor. That's just doesn't go.
But no more digging.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. So you wait for the linens to be folded, and then when the unseen servant goes over to the pile of dead bodies, you're just like, nope.
Right, clap off.
Yeah, clap off. No, there's no dead bodies. But anyway, your Errister rests fitfully for several hours, and then you wake him. It's just a little bit before prime, which is dawn. You need a couple hours to sort of trance and get things straight. So you wake him up, and he checks the lock. It's still there. Then he takes over as on watch.
Thank you.
Yeah. Then he takes over on watch, and you begin to trance.
Yeah,
Sure.
I would also like to make sure anytime I trance, I check to make sure I haven't written like all work and no play makes Vesper a dull boy on the sheet 9,000 times. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, you have one.
No oddities.
It's the sheet that you put out to let everybody know that you're trancing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trance sheet.
Make an intelligence check.
on
Yeah.
Just to remember something.
It's on edge.
It's on the edge.
We'll re-roll it.
Oh. 16.
Okay. When you're digging through your paperwork and your your inkwells and stuff like that to try to find your page or to try to write your page.
No, I don't want to write that page. But if I'm trans and I come back,
Oh, and you come back
there's
and
like
it's
weird
written-
artifacts from.
Okay. Well, then in that case, you instead of finding it, you remember you still have a couple pieces of that strange blue parchment tucked away in one of your bags. Do you want to tuck that further away, or do you want to put the bag across the room from you so that those blue sheets are not within reach? Because if you remember correctly, now that you're thinking about it, that book may or may not have been written on blue parchment, on that strange.
Well, I
blue
believe
parchment.
I checked it and it was not.
Okay.
It was similar but not the same.
Okay.
But I will
Similar.
tuck.
It was a powder blue.
It's not ominous at all.
Those are clearly two different colors, and if you did any acting, you would know.
This is a periwinkle, not to be confused with a cerulean.
That's right. That's right.
I would like to. Is there anything else around the room where I could, I don't know, fold them up and trap them underneath there?
Well, you have a couple books, and you could probably, depending on how you want to fold them, you could put them into some of your different pouches. Now, if you want to take them off your person and stash them somewhere,
Yes.
I'll say that there's some firewood against one of the walls. You could probably put them on the ground and stack a couple logs on top of them so that they don't go anywhere.
Sure.
Okay? All right. Do you do that before or after you wake up Errister?
Oh, if I'm waking him up, then I'm going to notify him of the pages and say, hey, these are those pages that you may want to throw in the chest as well.
Okay, yeah. So remember the letter,
Yeah, I
and then
gotcha.
okay. So he's got those pages.
Magical letter and some
Yeah.
parchment.
Yes, and some strange blue parchment. Yes. Okay.
Indeed. I will put said parchment in the chest with the
Okay.
key.
There we go.
Okay.
And
All right. So you watch, make a. I guess it would just be a straight perception check.
Am I any good at perception?
What is
I
your
am not
perception?
very good at perception.
It should be wisdom.
7
Okay.
for a perception check.
So amazingly, your Errister does not notice the folded linens in the corner. So,
yeah, you're tired.
Yeah. Well, probably also you're not interested in looking around.
Right.
You don't.
Definitely not.
So you left the house and you sort of abandoned isn't the right word, but you let other people clean up
Right.
what had happened. Like her family, your family. You just couldn't be there for that.
Right.
Partially because you were out looking for someone to hold accountable. Okay?
Hold accountable.
Yeah.
With my sword.
Yes. Hold them right on the end of the sword and then make them accountable until they die.
Right.
Okay. All right. So you're just not looking around. All right. So Dawn
Can I
approaches.
do something?
Yes. I'm listening.
I forgot. Before I left my mentor,
One to last.
yes. Is there any way I can ask him about the potion?
Sure. He opens it,
I show him,
puts a little bit on his finger and tastes it.
and I explain that
Gross.
it that they've given it to a pregnant rhino dog, and she had babies or whatnot. Like we're worried that they've made more. And
He sort of scrunches up his face and says, "This is a potion of animal friendship. So I don't know why that would make any animal pregnant unless you're
They said
Oh my gosh.
no.
Liliana, what are you doing? Your potion of animal friendship, and you're telling me about a pregnant rhino dog?
No. I explained
Do you want
the
this back?
story. Yes, I want it back. They said
Don't
something
impregnate
about
any rhino dogs.
impregnate a rhino dog. They're really gross, especially when you're seeing an undead one and they've like ripped your entrails out.
Here, what did I say about talking about this stuff?
Okay.
Put a lid on it. Put it on the
You're
shelf.
sure it's just a potion of animal friendship?
Yes, I would know the ingredients anywhere.
Okay. I mean, that's what it smelled like, but they had like written down something about, like doing stuff to other animals and giving it to dead ones and breeding them. So keep an eye out for really stinky animals that should be dead and smell like chaos.
I assure you that we will, as druids, we will not allow such things to go unpunished.
Good. I punished the one that I found, but I think she was working with other people, so
Good.
All right, I'm going home. Thank you. I feel better.
Bye.
It's done.
All right, so Prime rolls around. Kethra, you wake up in your room. Your father had come up and basically kissed you goodnight. You guys said a few prayers. He did not pray with you. He was just present while you prayed because despite his personal misgivings about the usury nature of the Church of Ara, and the fact that he's super angry with Ara for killing off his wife, he also wants to support you and your beliefs, and he understands that this is important to you, and so he just sort of sits there while you pray and give thanks to stuff, and he made it all the way through the prayer without scoffing once, which is good.
That's improvement.
Yep, he's been working on it. But anyway, you wake up, the smell of cooking bacon or cooking ham and eggs brings you out of your dream state, and you go down to have breakfast with your father. Mm-hmm. Macaria, roll a die 12.
Two.
Macaria, roll 2 die 6.
These are lucky.
3 and 6.
Okay. Macaria, you wake up at Sable Guard, outside, against one of the walls, face down. You're missing a shoe and 9 gold pieces.
No. That was my favorite shoe.
You're pretty sure that the headache you feel is something that you'll be dealing with most of today.
Lefty, where are you?
Great.
Sorry. Okay. Errister, Vesper, the sun breaks on the morning, on the cellar. You guys pack up,
Vesper,
gather the stuff.
we must away to the guild house.
Yes.
Okay. You guys head to the guild house. Liliana, you made it all the way back to the city. We'll say that you slept in the park, though.
Okay.
There's several parks, and more than one of them are tended by other druids.
Like tranced
And so,
out in a
yeah.
tree in a park,
Yeah.
and then skipped into the guild house at dawn.
Right. Okay. You finish your breakfast.
Go to the guild.
Your father tells you that if you to have your friend come by earlier in the day is better.
Sure.
Okay, Macaria, you're inside. Vance and Kurga are already there. Kurga laughs when you walk in. Vance asks you how you slept. And
Why are you yelling at me?
sorry, Kurga laughs again. Vance says, there are beds right there against the wall that you can use as a charter member. It is one of your perks. You don't have to sleep with your face in the
It
mud.
was too far.
I see. Well, okay. All right, so he and Kurga begin talking. Eventually, everyone makes it to Sable Guard Guild House.
My friends, we have returned.
I'm
Stop
back.
yelling at me.
Oh my gosh! Wait,
Makaria, you
Who
seem
else
a little
around?
out of sorts. Are you?
Everyone's around, plus Kurga, plus Vesper. I mean, plus
So
Ben.
much
you-
sound.
Do you-
Alizarin, Babo, and Pasha are
I'm going
not
to
present.
poke her for a lay on hands of 1.
Okay,
I'm grabbing
you feel a
Errister.
little better.
and Vesper and trying to drag you to the corner. Get over here.
Just excuse me.
What
Madam,
happened?
The corner by the bar,
Calm
or the opposite corner.
The corner away
Thank you,
from the people who don't know anything about what's happened.
Okay, well, Kurga and okay, yeah, you do that.
Secret
I
sidebar.
need to talk
That's
to
a
you
good
guys.
part.
What's
We have located
Are we okay?
the tome
Oh,
and have attempted to destroy it. However, it has proven quite resilient.
can I see? Can I see? Can I see?
Yes.
I
I need to
would
destroy
say
it.
something against that.
It's
Put
really
it
bad.
in
I'm so sorry.
Hearth and just destroy it right now.
One magical
I would
fireball.
remind you that Vance and Kurga are in the room.
I'm
And also fire is out.
continue dragging them
I see the
away
problem.
outside, out the door.
Very well. I begin being dragged. I allow myself my big.
I commence dragging.
I need private conversation. Get over.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
What happened?
Wait.
Why did you do that? That was so bad.
Well, okay.
He was gonna like call a guard on you. This is terrible.
Luckily, the
I
crisis
didn't
was
hear
averted.
about that part. It's understandable though.
Yes, I was going to
So you
raise
got
the
a
ire of the
micro?
city to have you burned. I
Yeah.
apologize,
Oh.
my friend.
All right.
I was
well,
really worried about you.
glad we met up whenever.
Why'd you do that? That was stupid.
It was obviously us being watched over by the gods.
Yeah. Moonstone, whatever.
Something like that.
So,
Huh?
the last thing I remember, we were reading the book. When it came upon my turn, I started reading, and that's when I had a bit of a blackout, and I woke up
Like police story.
out of breath at my mentor's place, just standing in the corner and muttering to myself.
Do
Insight check.
you okay? Do you want to? Because you still remember some of the stuff you read in the book. You just don't remember everything, the whole trip from point A to point from where you started.
Yeah,
to where you
it's
ended.
fragmented. Like
Okay. Do you want to talk about what you actually read?
23. So.
no,
Okay.
it's undignified.
Okay. So he is.
My insight check was 23.
Yeah,
so
he
I
is
know-
not. He is not telling you everything.
You're hiding something.
Of course, we read the book.
Right. How much
We're
of the
not
book
gonna
did you
talk-
read?
We're not going to talk about everything we read in the book.
Well, I know that, but how much of it did you read?
I don't.
Yep. You do. Yes, you do.
I mean,
I know how this works.
got
I read
to
it
like
too.
about. I think it was page
How many parts?
X I V V C something of that nature.
How many
It's a very
parts?
chaotic numbering system.
Right? It is very disorganized.
Punctuation was all over the place.
Tome.
How many parts did you read?
I mean,
How many chapters?
they weren't numbered.
You know how many chapters you read?
Well, no, I honestly don't.
I read one chapter.
Give us a percentage of completion.
Oh, like 25%.
So maybe 3 chapters?
That's not true.
Not true.
Wait, I thought we have to do insight check. And
I just
Can I
did
just
check
check it?
She nailed her insight check. Right now,
Yeah.
you're still doing the first thing that you were doing while you were lying. Switch up
Okay.
your. Are you going to try to bluff her? Then roll a bluff check, and she'll have to make a new insight check.
okay, I'm gonna bluff.
Actually, I wonder, is it bluff? What's it called?
Deception.
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 I'm rolling insight too now.
I'm
listening to all
like-
this. Makaria, you are functional enough to.
By
do
the
it
way,
as well.
the way that I'm talking about this is like I read one part, I learned one thing.
12
That would be a
plus
6.
You would
4.
understand that because you read it
You have
too.
2 dots.
You're
16,
still all
yeah.
talking
Okay,
real
so you
loud.
get double
for
your
Macaria. You're
proficiency.
just
That
Okay.
feels better.
Oh.
That's
Like
what
that
the two dots
slow,
means.
like,
So it'll be
right
whatever you
there.
rolled plus your
Right here in the
charisma
sinus,
plus
yeah,
twice
behind
your
the eye
proficiency.
count.
Okay, 16.
I
Okay.
don't want to think.
Dang it, 14.
Okay.
I got a dirty 20, baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So when he says that he doesn't remember how many chapters,
My friend.
you get the sense that he does remember how many chapters, and he knows exactly how far in the book you read.
Do you remember last night when I asked you why I should not gut you like a fish?
Look, I understand that you weren't in
I
control of
don't
yourself.
want to talk about it.
Just give us an accurate estimate.
Okay,
That's
like
not going to...
50%.
There you go.
So you
So,
read
like-
half of it.
Yes,
3 chapters.
presumably. I don't know how long the book is.
Might explain the extent of his blackout and memory loss.
Well, we still don't know what happened during your blackout.
Yes.
You may have
that's,
done something besides running, because you definitely weren't anywhere near your mentor's place when we checked it.
Nope.
Oh.
And we can confirm that by some kind of thing you did with your nose.
Okay, I'm not really
Tracking
I
trusting
you.
didn't
this.
smell you absolutely anywhere.
We did not find you with her dog powers.
Okay.
Dog powers. That
What do I know about dog powers?
I know nothing about dog powers.
You've seen her turn into a wolf
I
and
attempted to
track people by smell. You've seen her turn
Okay,
into a dog too
okay.
and track people by smell.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't sense you anywhere.
I'll trust it.
My friend, if it is true
You were missing
that
for hours.
you turn fully to the chaos, I will personally end you myself, so that you don't sustain
That's
sufficient soul degradation.
that's fine. I feel confident that since I'm able to coherently speak
let
to
me
you
explain,
now,
and
You're
then
welcome.
you'll understand.
it does not. Well, that's not.
Let me explain
Okay.
something, and then you'll understand. The thing is, anything you learned from that book, do not use it, because it will allow the chaos to grow inside you.
Right.
And it lets their powers, like, reach into this realm and mess with stuff. So don't do the things that you learned out of there. How many things did you learn out of there?
Excellent advice.
Do we really need to go deeper into this?
You should really tell me how many things you learned out of there.
I haven't tested any of it.
I don't ever want you to test it, but you know.
Let's save this conversation for
How do
after
I know
we've
if I learned
actually
if I can't pass the
destroyed
test?
the tome the rest of the way.
Yeah, let's.
Because
Okay.
I don't want anyone to be
Where is it? So I can burn it.
tempted
Right. That's what I was going to do. Can I burn
to
it, please?
continue
I light my hands on fire.
reading it.
Can I have it?
Yes, it's
Fire
in
in my
this
hands.
bag.
Do you mind if I burn the bag?
No. I mean, it was a gift.
Is it like important?
God, you're such a paladin!
Hard to replace. Really hard to replace.
I mean, I can make you another one. I'm
Make
okay with leather.
We don't
And
have
I got
time
a
for
friend
this.
that does leather stuff.
very well.
If
you promise to recreate a similar
Like,
bag.
sort of spin it around.
Okay, so
I
to
can make
be
you
It's embossed.
just so that I understand the scene. You guys are inside Sable Guard right now, about to burn
No, we
this in
went,
the
we
heart.
went
No.
outside in the house.
outside in
Okay,
the
so you're
alleyway.
outside. Okay, so you're outside in one of the alleyways between Sable Guard and the next building over, and you built a little place, and you've thrown the bag down, and now you're going to start burning it.
No,
Kefra, what are you
he's
going
gonna
to do?
drop it into my hands that are burning.
Okay, so you're just going to hold it in your hands while it burns and explodes and stuff.
Do you
I'm gonna
walk
take
up
a
to see
seat.
us
I mean-
huddling in the alleyway? Like
Yeah, I'm gonna
tourists?
make the call that I walk up now
Okay,
because I was getting what's his name to go to my dad's house, and I
Okay.
gave him 20 gold, by the way. To
I'll put
mean,
it on the
yeah,
ground.
I
if
gave
you
him
want
20
it,
gold to
but-
buy armor.
I'm seated a healthy distance away.
okay.
So I'm gonna walk up now, and I see them.
Yeah, and what you'll see is everyone sort of gathered around. Vesper's sitting a healthy distance away. This is the first time you've seen Vesper since he ran off with the book.
I didn't know you ran after the book.
Oh, that's
She
right.
wasn't there
That's
for
right.
that.
You
I
left.
know.
You left.
That's why I was also like,
you
I
walk
don't
up.
show up till now.
You walk up. You see
I don't
Vesper
wanna hear
sitting
that
a
part.
healthy distance away. Macaria and Errister are standing near Liliana, who is currently scorching some sort of a leather bag in her flaming hand. She's like holding it, and everything's starting to catch on fire. And
Once it gets through the battle, like put it on the ground and just keep going, like with fireballs.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Ooh, first roll of the night. We're only like at
We started with the
9:39.
we started with the dirty 20, so let's see what happens.
No. Hold on, wait. I get bonuses.
Dirty 20.
No, I got 11.
Okay, it's
Not
some
that
sort
great.
of a book. It looks like some sort of a book. When the bag sort of breaks
Some
open.
sort of a book.
Yeah, it just looks like some sort of a tome.
I'm gonna
some
make a
sort of book,
perception
really
check
some
since
paper,
I'm a
really
little
crispy
distracted,
paper. Really
but
no
17 plus 5, so
perception check to.
22. Just notice that she walked up.
Oh yeah, you see her.
Yeah, then, oh my god, Catherine, come help me. We gotta burn this thing.
I'm gonna take a really deep breath
Mm-hmm.
and compose
I need to talk to you. I'm
myself.
so sorry. You were so right. We were so wrong.
I don't.
Come on. Help
Okay.
me burn it.
Is it the same book?
Once you get closer, you can clearly see that it is the Labyrinth's Promise.
Help
This
me
is-
destroy this. Help
this.
me.
It's okay. It's okay. This is all my fault.
It's
I'm
not your fault. It's
I
my
apologize
fault.
after the
It's
book
fine.
is destroyed, please.
And no, I'm already like I'm gonna radiant flame the shit out of this. What is it? Sacred flame.
Cool.
Do I
We'll
need to
talk
roll
about
for
it
that?
afterwards.
Nope.
It's
Okay.
it's destroyed.
We're just gonna. You guys get to it.
Okay.
Red lights, white lights, red lights, white lights, red lights, white lights. The book just disintegrates into ash after a minute.
I'm gonna keep doing it for an extra
Okay.
like
Me
minute.
too.
Okay,
Like,
so you guys really
just
like you
really
scorch a
like-
hole in the alley.
Yes.
There is now a salad bowl sized melted
Slag hole.
slag hole in the alleyway.
If there's any ash left when they're done, I just like poke it.
It's
Just
really
like,
good. Yeah,
Just to be
Just
like,
to
I
make sure
helped.
it's- you're a coup de grace.
We do need some more chatbots in the chat, I'm told.
I see that. We need more chatbots. I'll look into that, Blizzard. We'll figure it out. We gotta get more. I'm assuming that's what exclamation point
Yeah,
uptime
He
is
doesn't have
supposed to
it
do.
turned on yet.
I don't have it turned on yet. I'll get there though.
I'll
I
try to
promise.
teach him this.
Okay, so it's the morning of Soul Day. It's the early morning.
Luna?
It's the morning of Soul Day. So Luna Day was yesterday. Soul Day in 2 days. In Givney Day, Errister must report to the Paladin, basically the Order of the Shield, for his devotion ceremony. You guys all know this. He's been talking about it for weeks.
Okay, Wog, shut up.
I-
Yeah,
I would like to
Roll
actually
it.
Pretty
ask
close to the
Kethra
table, but
if she's
mentioning
been
it
by
once is
or
like me talking about it for weeks.
Yeah. Well, but it's you there's 3 things that you talk about just when there's dead airtime.
Being a paladin,
Your strength,
doing paladin things.
the fact that you were a knight captain during the war,
Yeah,
and the fact that you are a paladin of Givney.
yeah. That's
So
you know, you don't need more than that.
right, yeah.
That's really all you need to talk
anything
about.
beyond
Every once in a
that
while, you
is
tack on the
all
rest of the world.
sad and
Yeah.
tragedy and blood.
Yeah, I'm so tired of
My-
hearing the rose about the rose of
I just
Orleans.
sort of tune you out, but I know it's real important to you, so cool.
Sometimes, you know, I'll just tell you guys the story because I think you need to hear it.
And that's the perfect time for her to trance and like get her sleep for the night.
Right. So talking about my family tree,
I
and
would
also
Actually, everybody probably trances at this point. It's just that the elves get some benefit from it.
Oh, did
Once upon a
I'm just
time,
doing it.
I didn't actually have a side conversation with
in the
Kethra.
yesteryears of the
Oh,
paladin,
no,
The many
I'm
years
probably
before.
sobbing and throwing myself on her and trying to hug her.
I'd like to ask Kethra if she's been back to her church or
Yeah, of course I went back to my church. That's the first place I went.
how do they not know where
since
you
last
live?
night.
What do you mean? How do they not know where I live? How do you know whether or not they know where I live?
I asked them where you lived.
What were you doing at the church?
Looking for you. You should really leave a forwarding address.
I did not realize I was going to be hunted down. I needed to
I
channel.
didn't realize it was going to be so difficult to hunt you down.
I needed to channel and to refocus because I let my anger and my frustration and my own failures get the best of me. And I was not being a very good priest.
No, you
Interesting.
were
No,
awesome.
And
no, that's
I
a good
had
tone
to-
when you go back.
You're
Very
the smart
patient.
one.
Have you
You're the
considered
smart
combat for stress release?
one. No.
No.
I've tried it. It's very fun.
Well, okay.
Have you tried hugging
But
them
actually, I'm
up?
not saying that because I'm not talking to Catherine. Like, I'm legitimately pissed and like ready to go see Grin.
You should try hugging them
I am.
Do you need another?
The druid comes out. She's an octopus.
I can't lay on hands your emotions.
I had to rechannel and re-come to terms with being centered and not.
You
Letting
had
my
100%
emotions-
right to be angry because we were so wrong and you were so right, and I'm so sorry.
I do apologize for striking you.
You sh-
That was a poor choice.
Must have been during my. Never mind.
I
no,
just.
that would be before.
He bashed her with his shield.
When she first started trying to destroy the book, Errister attempted to knock her unconscious rather than let it escalate to violence, but in doing so, he accidentally escalated it to violence instead of knocking her unconscious.
You know, it really. I should have.
You
I
figured
should
it out
have.
so much faster.
I should have listened. I know better. I know better. I know better. I've been taught better. And I decided that I knew more than my church did, and that arrogance is led to everyone's downfall in this. I should have burned it from the second I saw it, and I will, for future reference, be burning everything that is chaos the second I see it. There is no argument, there is no debate, because I have to protect you guys. I know.
We accept your apology.
You figured it out way faster than I
I've
did.
actually had a long discussion with the abbot at your church about your conduct, and he assures me that you will be adequately
What?
You did
chastised
what?
for your behavior.
You did what?
What?
Why are you such an ass? What is
Sure,
wrong?
Here's this trademark sass you were talking about. Right here. Here it comes. Here it comes.
What is wrong with you? You.
Excuse me, I need to take
Oh
notes.
my god.
The abbot told me to make sure I kept a very clear record.
Really? How would you like me to tell the abbot about what's going on with your little chaos thing right now?
I don't belong to that church. I don't care what you tell your abbot.
That was
Centering.
really bad of you.
Centering.
Really?
She was right.
Centering. I'm gonna go in and I'm
Oh,
gonna have.
this is more than
a morning
just
beer.
the book.
I'm gonna go have a morning beer.
You're gonna go. You're gonna go into
Might
say
want
the
to be
bar.
here to
Yeah.
that.
Okay, yeah.
And
Okay,
get a morning
over
beer.
to the bar.
Alcoholic
Yeah, I
I make
tendencies.
note of that for the abbot.
Yeah. Hey, Makaria. Catherine's gonna go have a beer.
I am.
You might go in there and make sure she doesn't drink all of it because that's what backstabbing betrayer friends do. Or did you want to go to?
Yeah, I am like very much like cannot do the conversation yet.
Okay, so both of you have yet to go to your mentor,
Which is what we need to do.
Yeah.
which is Grenadon. So you guys head over there.
Okay. I bid my party members adieu.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in with Cathra and drink and explain to her why she is awesome and I'm nothing. And I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
It's not your fault. It's
Yes,
not
it
your
is.
fault.
I shouldn't
It's
have
not
let
your
anybody take that book.
It's
I
fine.
didn't know it.
We know
first.
now. Let's all move forward in a positive direction.
At least it's destroyed now. Oh, did you know the potion's just an animal friendship potion?
Really?
I know.
That's what?
Freaking
Is
weird.
it a chaos animal? Friendship
No,
potion?
It's not chaotic. It's just an animal friendship. Like it's a spell I can cast. I mean, now I know how to make an animal friendship potion. I mean, cool. You want it? You can have it.
I mean,
You can destroy it if you want.
it makes me a little
Chaos,
nervous that it was
whatever.
with someone with chaos.
I don't know.
Do you think that?
I think maybe this wasn't the weird thing.
Okay.
Make an herbalism check.
I think that's wisdom, right?
I guess. I don't know. Make sure. Your herbalism skill.
Wisdom.
Yep. Do it.
Maybe not.
One day you're gonna start rolling and you're gonna do
Do I get
good.
It's gonna be
proficiency?
fantastic.
Whatever
All
whatever your total herbalism.
Everyone should
is.
buy her a set of dice.
So,
Then
Maybe
just-
one of these
and
will
then
work.
just
okay.
Let's go for a new D20
you
every session.
suspect that maybe the potion was there because you remember that the animal was somewhat controlled by a whistle, and you remember you didn't find any whistles. So somebody having an animal friendship potion might be like an emergency backup plan in case the rhino dog escaped and started killing everybody.
Gotcha.
Then someone could be like, look, no, we're your friends. Get back in the cage.
Okay. Yeah, it must have been a whistle.
Wow.
No, wrong. Okay. All right. So, Macaria, Errister, you guys get over to Granadon's Martial Academy, basically where he hangs out training Millipole people and Paladin people. And today, it's pretty early in the morning, so most of the people are outside doing drills and jogging and like lifting rocks and sandbags and doing stuff like that. And you guys come in, and Gren looks over at both of you and he says, Errister and Macaria on the same day. What did I do to deserve this?
You may be surprised to find that we are now guildmates.
Oh, I see. Are either of you actually wearing the guild tabard?
Tabard?
Or wasn't it a sash or something?
I don't know.
I thought it was a badge. Like they had
A badge, yeah. You guys both
Yeah,
wear a
no,
badge.
yeah, I'm wearing the badge.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the badge.
Oh, I see. Just collecting badges as you go. I see. Well, what can I do for you today? Are you both here for training? Or?
Yep.
Well, as you know, I do have a ceremony coming up.
Yes, you talk about it all the time.
I would like to be quite well prepared for such ceremony, as it's very physically rigorous, I'm sure.
Well, we shall see. I will be there. I will be there.
Really?
With you. Yes, as a paladin of Givney, I am responsible
I
for
haven't-
showing up to such things.
I haven't gotten your RSVP back.
Well, I didn't send it to you.
Errister sent out his own special invitations.
I did send out my own
outside.
personal RSVP. It was the scented one.
On Periwinkle paper.
I'm very.
Holy color.
It's been a while since
Sounds
I've
so
trained two people of such differing combat styles. So I'll tell you what.
I thought you were going to say renown.
I was not. No.
I apologize.
No need to apologize. Just since you're here, you can help me. You can help me test out my new combat simulator.
Indeed. That sounds
This way.
interesting.
Sounds interesting.
He takes you into a room, and you guys are. You walk into a room, and there's basically just like a huge square room, and in the center of the room, there's like a wooden walkway, and then the center of the room is just sand, just like a sandy floor, sort of like almost at Grimnir's theater. Sometimes they put sand out there to make it harder to run and stuff like that. There's a couple balconies, and there's all kinds of stuff along the walls and hanging from the ceiling. And he says if you would please get into the center of the ring. I'll just put this up here so that you guys know. Actually, I'll put this up. Oh, guess what? Our map cam isn't working tonight. Oh well, I guess you guys will just have to hear the description
Well,
like you're listening to it on the radio.
it is 9:52.
Yeah, this won't take long. All right, he says the two of you can spar. The two of you can spar with each other. Of course, I don't expect you to do anything deadly, so let's keep it clean, and we'll just go by points. However, the environment is going to change around you, so I want you to keep your wits about you while you fight.
I am visibly giddy.
And let me get my assistance, and I'll be right back.
We shall do battle.
And so he walks out, and the two of you step into the ring. So if I could have your... Actually, since the map cams aren't working, I guess we can just put this right over here. So you guys can step in to opposite ends of the ring. All right, so he comes back in, and he walks over to a lever that's on the wall.
Lever.
No, it's a lever.
Okay.
And he waits for a few moments, and you guys hear some doors open and close, and you look up at the balconies, and there are now people standing in the balconies. Okay.
This
This is my place.
All right. So he says when you hear the bell, begin. If you hear 2 bells, stop fighting and return to your corners.
Very well.
Everyone understand?
Got it.
Okay. All right. So let's roll initiatives.
All right. Let's do this thing.
13.
Garbage. Less than 13.
Okay. All right. So he.
Are you excited about
I'm
it?
actually getting.
Yeah.
Vicaria and Taylor are getting. about
Pull
what's
my sword and shield.
Okay. All right. So you hear the gong.
All right.
It's your first move.
Yep. Let's go. Am I level 3?
You guys should consider yourselves to be level 2 for the purposes of this fight.
I'm so excited about using my maneuvers. Okay.
I will not channel divinity into you.
That's good.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just run on up there.
Okay.
And here we go.
I turtle.
Get ready to shake her hand.
Is not the
Get
hits.
her
That would be a.
Okay. So you strike it in. He blocks easily with his shield.
Two. Second hit is definitely a hit.
Ah, no.
For. Just rolled 8. 12.
Jesus.
And I'm going to
Okay.
use my second wind.
Okay.
Go ahead and make a couple more attacks. That's definitely a hit.
Okay.
For 7.
Okay.
And my next one is a 12. That doesn't hit you, does it?
No, that shouldn't.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Makaria moves up, feints. You block her first shot. She basically tags you right in the chest, and then tags you right in the neck. Right, like she doesn't stab you. She puts the blade right next to your neck. Okay. And then she comes in for the third finishing blow or whatever, and you manage to block it away.
I don't know.
Okay.
Did she flip your neck?
You hear Grenadon go,
Seemed pretty
point!
pretty.
all right, now it's your turn. You don't take any damage. The amount of damage is going to determine where she actually hits you.
I see.
So if she just hit you for 1, then you would have blocked it away to your shoulder, but that 8 was like right in the heart.
So, I'm not close to death right now, right?
No. She hasn't stabbed
She's
you at
not
all.
really hitting you.
She's literally
Far.
showing you where she could have stabbed you.
I see. Got it. All right. Well, I will attempt to strike her back
Okay.
with critical 20.
Okay.
What?
Oh.
All right. So, what weapon are you using?
Longsword. Yep.
Okay. So, Errister basically blocks your shots, right? You get him in the chest, you get him in the neck, he blocks the third one, and then on his return swing, which you didn't even see coming, the blade basically passes, like you feel it pass from your hip to your shoulder in just one fluid movement.
Stem to stern.
It goes past you so quickly that you have zero doubt in your mind that it would have opened you up like a turkey. Like you would have just opened up and sprayed everything everywhere. All right, and then you guys
Like
hear
one of those
Errister.
Japanese
Errister. You hear
horror
Grenadon
films.
point, and then that makes it your turn.
Okay. Here we go again. Not a hit.
Okay.
I'm like, okay,
Yes.
okay. It went on 20 and was like, oh, 2.
Okay. So you redouble your efforts and come back and try to stab, and now Errister seems to have gotten his rhythm back, and he's just easily blocking your
The
shots.
giddiness has subsided.
I know. I was like freaked out by the freaking like.
Because you didn't realize
Storm
that
in
someone
this
could
game.
swing a heavy blade like that forcefully and quickly. Like, you're imagining the power behind it would be deadly.
I may be old, but I am strong and wily.
Yes. And also an ex-knight captain.
Indeed. If you did
He's
not
about
know.
to become.
Oh my gosh!
So I got a second critical 20.
Okay.
For the purposes of this battle.
Okay. So,
Here, Makaria, it's gonna matter when we're doing real battle. Then
Yeah.
you get the 20.
okay.
He's
Yeah,
burning
I'm-
all of them.
This
right
is the
now.
one that matters to me.
So you come in and make your attacks again, Makaria, and then you realize too late that again Errister is using his shield to block the windup. And by the time the blade swings around, it's too late for you to move. It's too late for you to even parry it. And again, he swings just right past your head, and your head would have been gone. Like if you had been fighting for real, your head would be away from your body right now. And then he resets, and everyone hears Granadon. Points.
Might I suggest next time a good night's sleep prior to battle?
Oh man!
Yeah. Okay.
Man.
So then you hear Grenadon yell, "Sandbags!" And everyone that's up on the balconies, they release a sandbag that's on a rope, and they throw it intentionally down at you guys. So all these sandbags just come flying in. Both of you make dexterity.
That's my dex. Yeah. Except I can roll another freaking 2.
My dex is god awful. This is going to be bad.
I rolled a 3. It's better than a 2.
Oh,
So yeah, that's 6.
I got it too.
Okay. So basically, sandbags pummel the both of you, and now you have disadvantage on all attacks this round.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be awful. Okay, so
Grenadon also starts yelling like, "Watch out! keep your eyes open. This is pitched combat. Don't put blinders on for your foe."
first attack. I rolled an 18 that time. That's a 2.
All
Second
right,
attack
stab a sandbag.
is 14.
Nope.
You hit Errister in the shield. Makari, move faster.
Okay, that's a...
Mine's 16. Okay.
And a 17.
17 is your worst roll?
Yeah.
Good job. All right. What's your armor class is 16, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, despite the sandbags hammering you, you managed to basically reach out, and you would have cut Makaria's leg in such a way that it would have maimed her immediately and caused her to drop out of the combat. Right? Like it would have been such a bad wound in battle that she would not be able to stand on her leg anymore.
That's not good.
And you hear Grenadon, "Points!" And then you hear 2 gongs.
What?
And he got 3 points. End of round 1. It's
Round
first,
1.
First to 3. Back up into your corners. All right. The guys on the balcony start pulling on their pulleys to reel the sandbags back up. Okay, so Grenadon comes over and he says, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you're too focused on a single enemy. Keep your eyes open. Move around.
Is there a sandbag still down at all?
Huh?
Are there any sandbags still hanging?
Sure.
Within my vicinity? I punch one.
Okay.
Did you hit it?
Oh, snaps! Oh.
No.
I did not hit it.
Oh.
I missed.
All right.
I missed these sandbags.
Okay. Grenadon looks over at you and he says, "Well done, good fainting, but I sense you're distracted with something. Try to clear your mind and concentrate on the battle."
My friend, I will seek to do this. There are many things on my mind.
All right. He leaves the court, bangs the gong, roll initiative.
Oh, God. Here we go again.
Seriously. 12.
14.
All right. So, Errister.
All right, here I
You
come.
begin.
Charge out of the corner.
Okay.
And... 14. Not great.
Woohoo!
Okay. All right. So he comes at you. This time you're watching the way he's moving his shield, and when the blade slides out from behind it, you parry it away.
Okay. Blue is always first. I'm just gonna roll them both. Those are both hits.
Okay.
And they are...
Some damages done.
I rolled a 5 and a 6.
Okay. All right. So basically, you parry his sword out of the way. You bring one blade up to where his armpit is. So, like, as he's leaned out with the sword, you bring one blade up to right here, and the other blade you just rest on his neck for just a split second. You just bring them both in, and then you're away. And Grenadon's like, ha ha ha, points!
All right. Let's go again. 22.
Okay. All right. Errister responds by spinning around and bringing his shield right next to your face. And it
That
almost,
hurts, by the way.
like as you move away to try to block it, you realize that his sword is down near your feet and you stumble over the blade.
You're full of me!
Points!
And I'm upset about it. I hit you 1, but then that one's only 11.
Okay.
An 8.
Okay. As she stumbles away, you see her grit her teeth, and she lashes out with her rapier in her offhand, and it goes basically right across where your neck was,
no, man.
like just right across. And Grenadon is like, points! And then he says, ropes! And he pulls the lever. And a whole bunch of ropes spring up out of the sand, like a net, right? Like ropes across the way. And both of you guys make dexterity saves or stumble.
Seriously, you've got to be kidding me. I have awesome
Roll
decks!
it more.
I
Count to like 3 or something.
rolled 1.
Okay.
Yay!
Oh no.
All right.
This armor is quite heavy.
Yeah. All right. So both of you
My
stumble
cat
over
is
the
cramps.
ropes. Yeah. Both of you stumble over the ropes. You're not ready for it. You fall, but manage to roll sort of out of it and are in a guarded position on the ground. Errister, not so lucky. Errister trips, tries to catch himself with his leg, trips over a different rope.
He's wearing so much armor.
Falls down and actually lands
Wearing a lot.
on his shield and like onto his shield, and so his back is exposed and his like sword is out here. And he looks up and Grenadon just clucks. Says, you never know what can attack you and from where.
How did you know that rope was my greatest weakness?
He actually gives a point to Macaria because at least she, even though you both failed, at least she landed in a defensible position.
It's 3-1.
That's 2-2 now.
That was a 2-2.
It's 2-2.
I've gotten 3 points.
Yeah, she
She's
got
got
3
another
points.
point
I
there.
think.
Oh,
That was
good.
3-1.
Oh,
Yeah.
then 2 gongs.
Yeah.
Bong gong. He releases the lever and the ropes lay back down on the sand.
I
And
can help you up.
some tiny
Yeah, you do.
squires.
Yeah, you should.
Some tiny squires come out and they like kick a bunch of sand onto the rope so you can't really see them very well anymore. And then they run out.
I'm going to take like 2 and dust because there's a lot of crevices that I've got in my armor. So that's uncomfortable.
Yeah. So you're
We're
like,
going to spend
you're shaking
weeks
it out.
getting this out.
Okay. All right. Initiatives.
All right.
This is round 3.
Seriously.
The decider.
6.
4.
All right, Macaria.
You
you're
are
first.
so good at this.
All right.
I know, right?
Gong.
Really good at going first.
Hiya! Oh gosh. My highest one was
Man, I really need to go second.
11.
Okay, so you come in, basically because you're running, but also distracted by the ropes and waiting for sandbags to come in. Errister just sort of watches your body language, and then as soon as you come in, he just easily just gets the shield right where it needs to be to block both attacks at the same time. Just ching, ching. All right, Errister.
All right. Oh, nothing. I got
All right.
10.
Okay, Grenadon yells, "Gauntlets!" And he pulls the lever, and the ropes come up, and sandbags come
Oh my
flying in.
gosh.
Make 2 dexterity saves.
Well, okay, so the first one was a 22,
Okay, so you
And
dodge
then-
all the bags,
an 8.
and then you fall on your ass.
I got a 10.
Okay, bags hit you.
Oh, and a dice that went wild. And
Oh,
a
the
2.
first one was much better.
Everything hurts.
Yeah, all right. So you managed to dodge out of the way of the bags.
That's why I wear leather armor,
But
bro.
you hit the ropes, and they cause you to stumble, and you hit the ground. You get hit, like you get your shield up, and the bags hit you. And then as you're moving, you start to stumble on the ropes, and another bag hits you, and it's enough to throw you over.
Great.
Okay. At this point, Grenadon is yelling again like a drill sergeant. What's wrong with you? Get up! Move faster! Don't forget your environment!
My greatest weakness. Not again.
I thought my 2 best students were here today, and it turns out they're just a couple of frustrations.
Charge!
Alright. You guys both get up.
Ben's at disadvantage now too. because
Yeah,
it's
Ben
right.
didn't dodge the bag, so he's got a
didn't.
disadvantage on his attack roll.
So I got a 13, or not 13, 23, and a 10. So I got 1 hit.
Okay,
4,
points.
7.
And good job. You poke Ben in what would have been his left eye.
I miss.
Would have been.
Okay, yeah, and you swing your sword and some sand comes up.
All my hotness is left.
You cut one of the ropes, and Grenadon is like, "Oh, dang it!"
That's all you really wanted to do that time. You just like cut the ropes.
All right, so what are we at? You're at 1 point, and
We're 1-0, right?
yeah, I think so. All right, next initiative. The ropes go down. The bags start getting pulled up.
So that's 17. Does that hit you?
Nope.
Seriously, 17 doesn't
Yeah.
hit you?
No.
Well, I
You get
guess
them in the
not.
armor.
That's why I blew all the money on armor. I miss.
Okay,
Swing and miss.
next roll.
Oh, that's 16 and 17.
Miss, but I got an 18.
Okay, all right, good. All right, so while you start like poking and dodging and trying to get him to pull his shield away just enough to get him in the groin or something like that, get him in the back of the knee, get him in the
That's
neck.
how I want to take him out in the last shot. I just right in the
Yeah.
groin.
And
Tap tap.
I have a cod piece.
he
Metal
basically brings his sword down overhead, and you bring your rapiers up to block it, and basically he pulls the sword back so it doesn't hit your head, but then he flexes with his strength just to tap you right on the scalp. And Granadon is like, my favorite maneuver, point.
All right, those are both hits.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Miss.
5 and 3.
5 and 3. All right, so you respond, you dodge around, you cut him in the wrist, you cut him in the knee. Both of those would pull someone out of combat, make them worthless.
2-1.
It's 2-1. All right.
Okay.
Oh. Yet another
Next.
All right. Sandbags.
No, I rolled so
Roll your
bad.
dexterity saves.
Yet another miss for me.
You're supposed
I'm
to
doing
roll.
really bad.
No, it's a
Sandbags.
dexterity save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually would have hit you that time. Darn it.
I missed on the sandbags.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So then just leave that miss that you rolled earlier. That'll just be your miss. Did
Okay.
you make it on the sandbags?
No.
Okay. Disadvantage if you're attacking.
Okay. Hey, still 20.
Did you hit me?
There it is.
20 is tied to the poop. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's 2-1 now, or?
No, that would be 3,
Is that
right?
3-1?
That was the third one, right?
Yeah, it was
Did
the
you hit
third
him last
Yeah,
time?
Yeah, that would be her
That would
third
be
one.
great.
All right. 2
All
gone.
right. I give
2 taps on the card piece.
All right.
Bring the
cod piece.
He comes over. He gives you some pointers about deflecting a heavy blade with 2 rapiers that aren't bigger than twigs. That's not your strength. Don't try to block. You parry and move away. Parry and move away.
Yes, sir.
I won't have your death on my conscience. If you die, I'm going to blame those rapiers.
You know that'll never happen.
All right. He looks at you, Errister, and he says, "Are you okay? You seem very
It's
distracted.
been a long couple of days.
Anything I can help you with?"
Not unless you can control time.
I gave that up. I joined the paladin.
Wise decision, brother.
All right. Well, try to keep your head clear, and your enemies will take advantage of it. She would have had your life many times.
Indeed.
All right.
I
Keep-
blame my arrogance.
Keep practicing, and I shall see you in 2 days at the ceremony. It will be a very proud day for me.
Thank you, sir. I look forward to seeing you there.
Also, if you cut any more of my ropes, I'm going to get very angry.
You did not
This is a-
specify
This
that
is
I
a
could
prototype
cut the ropes. I assumed that thinking outside the box would have netted me some sort of nod of approval.
Perhaps you're right. It's I've been working on this for months, and
Might I suggest
I had higher hopes for it.
investing in ropes?
Yes, I need more ropes. I need more ropes. Somebody somewhere runs out of the balcony and slams the door.
Or investing in chains.
All right, you guys leave. Bada bing, bada bang. You're level 3.
Hooray!
With the exception of the devotion stuff, you have to actually attend the ceremony to get your devotion powers.
Which I will soon do.
Yes. All right, Kethra, you are already level 3 from all the meditation and communing with Abbot Eugene and praying to Ara. And you are already level 3 because Phineas don't mess around. When you show up, he's like, "Hey, watch out! Hey, oh, hey, you're level 3.
Ding!
What did you learn? You're level 3. Don't trust my mentor. That's right. You're level 3. Get out of here." All right. Okay, so we are 14 minutes past 10. This is a really good stopping point for us. Everyone has touched base with their mentors. We will probably fast forward to Give Me Day for our next session. I may reserve the right to hold off on that. I might want to introduce you guys to something on the morrow, but we can discuss that in our planning meeting. But for those of you at home, thanks for tuning in. We had a really good time. I hope that you did too, and we will see everybody next week at the same time and the same channel, and all of that sort of stuff. Have an excellent night. Velizery, I'm going to try to get those chatbots. She's going to try to teach me. It's exceedingly difficult because this bony ridge here, it protects me from the elements and predators and stuff, but it makes learning just a little bit harder. Just a little bit harder. Okay, have a good night, everybody. And Mom,
Bye.
if you're still watching, I will see you later.